And then the browser itself is Opera Mobile, comes pre-installed standard on the phone. It's an excellent browser. One thing about Opera Mobile I mentioned is it's based on WebKit, which is the same thing that Apple's Mobile Safari interface is based on, and I believe the Nokia S60 browsers are also based on it. And they're great browsers, but the one thing is that they have to load the entire page before they start displaying. So if we go to the Phone Dog site, and I'll show you what I mean. I do kind of wish they had a .com link right here, although I think maybe in the other interface, in the Compact QWERTY. Yeah, they have a .com button in the Compact QWERTY. So we'll go back to that. You can see the different input settings. You can do T9, Compact QWERTY, which is the SureType style 20 button full QWERTY, or you can write handwriting recognition as well. But we'll go to the Phone Dog site and I'll show you. The EBDU speeds are fast, but see what happens is it's loading the data now, but it won't show you any elements of the page until the whole thing is loaded, and then it all comes up at once. So it might feel like, oh, why is this going so slow? It's not really, it's just that when you have a more complex page, see, there you go. Now the whole layout of the page is done, and now it can start showing you as it fills in the images. So it's a little different than non-WebKit browsers, which render the page kind of more progressively. Anyway, here you can see this is the Phone Dog homepage, and this is full VGA resolution, 640 by 480. So it loads up, and now you've got the full web page, which is nice. You can't actually, read the stuff because it's so small. But if you double tap, the zooming is great. It's quick. It's smooth. You can drag around the page. It's very smooth. Works really well. So it's just a matter of, and then you can double tap to zoom back out. Hello, there we go. And it's just a matter of if you can, if you want to make the trade-off for the smaller physical screen, which makes for a very small pocketable device, but you don't see as much all at one time when you're zoomed in to a readable resolution. And again, the accelerometer. But beyond that, the browser works really well. Again, you've got your little menu there, so you can, do your bookmarks. You can have multiple tabs open at once, all that kind of stuff. So there's the Opera browser. And then you've got your other little scroll bar, menus and applications here. So messages. You can create your messages here, and here's where, for me, this is where I would normally be using a phone with my fingers, and the screen's responsive enough, but it's small enough that I need to use the stylus really to be able to type. You can see, it's a pretty small area, a pretty small area to type in terms of having a full QWERTY. So I find that the compact QWERTY works really well. When you go to full QWERTY, a little bit cramped. When you go to phone keypad, the T9 style is big enough that probably, even somebody with giant, non-nimble thumbs like me would be able to do a decent job of texting, even though I know I text so slowly. And you can see the predictive text system works pretty well. Fox. Jumped. Oh, lumped. No, jumped. Oh, lump jumped. Whoops. Anyway, that was my mistake, not the phone's. So there you go. That's the interface for texting and the virtual keypad. The Mail app is kind of nice. I really like the way you get this little preview here. This is the newest message I have, and it's got the cute little, open envelope with the message, and it actually shows you the header in the beginning of the actual mail message, which I think is pretty cool. I think HTC, they're just getting more stylish and refined, with each new device and each new version of software they put out. So it really looks great. You can go straight to your inbox, you can hit the menu, and you can have your options. When you do go to your inbox, you get the regular Windows Mobile email interface, which is fine. It's just not as attractive visually, I think, as the TouchFlow 3D. What else can I tell you? 3.2 megapixel camera. Here's your little image viewer, image album. And so it's a nice, it's kind of CoverFlow-esque, I suppose, but you can flick through your photos, and then when you want to see one, you can just click on it, or tap on it rather, double tap, and it comes up in full screen. And really great screen resolution, nice colors, everything looks rich, it's easy to share, it's easy to go. Slideshow, you can set an image, save it to your contacts, save it to a screen image, all that kind of stuff. Really looks nice. What else? Actually, let's load up some music. So we'll hit one of these songs that was already on, just to show you that you can do a little bit of multitasking here. So while music's playing in the background, I can look at my images. I can... So you can see here, while the music's still going in the background, I'm able to select a picture and then decide to send it using Sprint Picture Mail. So you can do some multitasking, which is nice. And then we're back. There you go, and the music's still going. So definitely, it's a responsive device. It works well. Here's the little weather applet. Current conditions. And let's look out the window. Yep, look at that, right on. It says it's kind of cloudy, foggy. It really is. Good job with the weather there, guys. We can go to our 5-day forecast, and so on and so forth. This is how the device works. When you're in the TouchFlow 3D, it's beautiful, it's easy to use, it's responsive. When you get out of TouchFlow 3D into the Windows Mobile, kind of standard world of Windows Mobile, it's the Windows Mobile interface, not quite as nice. Speaking of Windows Mobile, the upside of having a Windows Mobile device is that there's all kinds of power, all kinds of connectivity, Exchange support, all that, all kinds of applications you can load in. So you can see the phone comes with Sprint navigation installed. There's also this quick GPS app. The GPS support, it works well. It's accurate, it's responsive. The phone gets hot when you're doing, right now it's fine, but when you're taxing the CPU, when you're doing the GPS stuff, if you do while the phone's charging, if you're using other programs that tax the CPU and the GPS or the Bluetooth or the EVDU, that kind of thing, the phone can get quite warm, definitely. So this is an application that I installed, a Windows Mobile application, which is pretty cool. It's called Wi-Fi Router. And we'll launch this up. And basically what this does, there are a few different programs that do this kind of thing. This is the one that I happened to download and try out. It's pretty cool. It takes advantage of the built-in 3G and Wi-Fi connections. You can also do it over Bluetooth or USB, as you can see. And it turns the phone into a portable EVDU to Wi-Fi router. So if you've got a data plan, and I don't know how, if you abuse this, Sprint may cap you or regulate you. I don't know. I just wanted to try it out. It takes your EVDU connection coming in, and it turns it into an outgoing Wi-Fi connection. So you can see I'm connected, and now it's created a network called Wi-Fi Router. And I could actually use my laptop or my computer or whatever other device that has Wi-Fi, and I could get on the internet via the Sprint connection, but over Wi-Fi. So I could actually share my connection. I could use this as a router and share it with a couple of different laptops or what have you. It's pretty cool. Couple things with it. One is that I had to turn off the, it has a setting in here to shut not let the application run if the battery gets too hot. And I had to turn that off because the battery heats up right away. I can feel it actually kind of right down here. Ow, ow, no, it's not that hot, but it is getting warm right down there. And then the other thing about it is, when you're doing all this, it's not the fastest connection in the world. It's fine if you need to like if I was doing some live blogging or something, it would work great. But if you have a couple people on it, that kind of thing, or if you're not going to watch YouTube videos or something using this. But generally it works pretty well, so that's definitely pretty cool. All right, let's get out of this. So while this is shutting down and disconnecting, a couple more thoughts just to kind of show you the hardware of the phone itself. Again, I'm using this phone as I've been testing it. I've been using it mainly, I use the touch screen and I use the home button. The home button gets me back to, I think we're still disconnecting the data connection there. The home button gets you back to the main TouchFlow 3D screen, and you know, from here you can flick through stuff. You can get your calendar, your call history, all that kind of thing. I wish they had done a TouchFlow calendar, kind of a more attractive calendar than the Windows Mobile, but that's all right. So mainly, you know, I use the touchscreen and then use the home button, but you can also navigate using the D-pad. And you know, I think this is a great device. I think it's got a couple of issues. Again, I had some reception issues. And I've read and heard some complaints about the battery life. My standards are, I guess, a little bit lower than some people. If I hammer on the phone and it makes it through the day and I have to charge it every night, I'm fine with that. If you take full advantage of all this phone's capabilities, media player, 3G, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all that stuff, you know, you can run the phone down before the day's over, or on regular heavy use, you're definitely going to be charging it every night. I don't think that's a problem. This one actually has a larger battery than the unlocked GSM version, so you get a little more juice out of it. But, you know, just know that. Otherwise, like I said, it gets a little warm, but it's responsive, it works well, so there you go. All right, so, you know, like I said, just to sum up, there's a lot to like about this phone. You know, as we noted, purists will say, this isn't the Diamond. There's no faceted back. This is rounded over. What's the deal? Personally, I don't care. I actually think it looks pretty nice, and it's not a fingerprint magnet like the original. But, you know, I understand if you're a purist. TouchFlow 3D looks and works great on the phone, as we showed. The EBDU Rev data speeds are generally great. Even with a weak signal, I was able to get pretty good data speeds. There's a lot you can do with it because there's Windows Mobile under the hood. The negative, there's Windows Mobile under the hood, so you know, when you get past what TouchFlow 3D can do, you have to deal with Windows Mobile, which definitely has its issues I'm not a big fan of. But the TouchFlow is great. The Sprint implementation I think is pretty good. Like I said, I had some reception issues. There's some known dead spots kind of around where I live, and it's not only Sprint that has the issues. But I had a couple times where I could hear, I was talking in that area or in different areas, I could hear the other people fine, but they said that I sounded like they were making fun of me. They were like, phone dog, you're the phone dog, but I can't hear you, what's the problem? So, you know, that happens sometimes. It happened a little more with this phone than has happened with other phones recently. But again, in general, it performed well. It works great as a multimedia device, as a smartphone, all that stuff. So if you don't mind the small screen size, and you don't mind, you know, having to use the stylus to do your text input, or you just have more deft fingers than I do. If you can get around the text input things and the small screen and the fact that it does get hot and it is a little thicker than the original version, it's a great device. Again, the Touch Pro will be coming out soon on Sprint, so it's basically this, a little thicker with a slide-out keyboard. I'm psyched to use that one, but in the meantime, you know, Touch Diamond for Sprint, it's a thumbs up with the slight reservations we talked about. All right, until next time, I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to the folks at HTC and Sprint for the loaner model. It's the Touch Diamond. I'm Noah. Don't forget, listen to the podcast, Noah's Bark from PhoneDog.com. You can check it out on iTunes, or just go to the site, PhoneDog.com/Noah, and all the stuff that I do is there for you. Lots of other great content from the rest of the PhoneDog gang. We got a new reviewer, John, who's doing some stuff as well, so check it out. All right, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching.